Tonight we travel to a fog-bound lakeside village where even the wind seems to carry unfinished thoughts. Among the reed-thatched cottages lives Corin, a millwright whose mind never quiets. Every creak of the water wheel becomes a prediction of failure, every distant thunderclap an omen that his family will lose the mill. He cannot sleep, cannot smile, and the villagers whisper that the lake's spirits have tangled his wits. Yet the truth is simpler and more dangerous. Corin refuses to empty the fears crowding his thoughts, and those fears now steer the entire village toward ruin. Ignore this story, and you may never notice how your own anxious mind quietly steals your future. Listen closely, because tonight we will unspool how one man learned to release the noise within, and why your next breath might be the doorway to a life that finally feels like yours. If you dare to listen. Dawn mist clings to the millpond as Corin hunches over ledgers stacked like siege walls. Every missing coin becomes a starving child in his mind. Eileen steps from their cottage with a bowl of porridge, steam curling like a plea, yet he waves it away, muttering debt numbers that scrape his throat. Around him the workshop is a cluttered echo, rusted gears leaning against barrels, frayed ropes snarled on pegs, letters unsent beneath a lamp. The wheel outside spins too fast, slapping water with anxious hands, and Corin feels himself spinning with it, heart punching against ribs that remember floodwaters and graves. Morning slips over Brackenfell in silver hush as Corin stands beside last night's embers. The courtyard lies orderly, yet tightness still knots his ribs. He walks to the lake, mist mirroring the wan sky. Eileen drapes a shawl across his shoulders, squeezes his hand, and leaves him alone with the creak of unseen wheels grinding inside his chest. Footsteps crunch through frostbit reeds. Mirren arrives with her staff and river grass. She listens to his hurried breathing. Emptying the yard was a doorway, she says, but the next room waits within. She seats him on the dock, spine tall, palms open to dawn. Together they count, inhale 4, hold 2, release 6, naming heat at the throat, tremor in fingers, ache behind ribs, letting lake wind carry each admission away. On the third morning fog lifts, revealing the hill where his parents rest. Mirren asks what memory rises, and Corin traces the quiver in his sternum back 14 winters, river cresting, father shouting, mill wheel tearing loose. He finally speaks it aloud, the fear that inheriting the mill means inheriting disaster, the belief that sleepless vigilance could anchor the past. Tears streak through sawdust as Mirren nods, calling the confession a foundation stone. That afternoon she presses smooth river stones into his palm. Give each worry weight, then return it to the water. Corin etches winter grain, broken axle, even Eileen's laughter, admitting how joy can seem fragile. He summons the apprentices. Maeve claims the grain stone, pledging to watch the bins. Tomas pockets the axle stone, swearing to oil every spoke. Quiet Dara chooses one marked unknown. Together they cast the burdens into the lake, ripples widening like shared lungs exhaling. Word of the ritual travels fast. By dusk lanterns ring the windmill clearing as neighbors form their first wind circle. Each must speak one fear and one gratitude before the breeze snuffs the flames. Corin's turn arrives. I fear I will fail you when storms come. I am grateful we stand together. Instead of judgment, hands reach for him. The baker pledging loaves if grain runs thin, the pastor offering tools, the blacksmith promising to brace the sluice. Shared breath softens the raw edge of his worry. Weeks later thunder bruises the horizon. Panic rises, but Corin maps his breath, walks the mill, trusts the preparations Maeve and Tomas arranged. Rain lashes, the river swells, he redirects overflow, voice calm. By dawn the wheel still turns. He carves a plaque above the door, empty, name, and share, and teaches every visitor the lakeside ritual patiently. Down the lane, Elder Mirren hears the frantic rhythm and arrives with a satchel of herbs and patient eyes. She stands in the doorway until Corin notices the silence inside her presence. An anxious mind clings to every sound because it has forgotten how to empty, she says, placing a sprig of lavender on the ledger. She instructs him, before sundown, step into the yard, speak aloud what no longer serves, and set his hands to removing it from his world. By afternoon, Corin summons his apprentices. Together they launch emptiness rounds, warped planks hauled to the shore, cracked cogs laid in the fire, ledger pages sorted into keep or let go piles. River wind lifts sawdust like prayer ash while villagers gather, feet drawn by wonder. At twilight Corin scrawls each fear on scrap parchment, debts, winter hunger, father's flood, and feeds them to the flames. One by one neighbors add their own burdens until the courtyard glows with shared surrender and the mill wheel softens to a steady hush again.